Here we are.
Welcome, everybody, to In the Buff. Today we've got your host, Chris, and I am being co-starred with Kyle, Cody, Scott, and John.
Chris, this is a two-part episode. Wouldn't you be saying, welcome back, everybody, to In the Buff?
Oh, right.
Actually,
don't.
Stupid piece of shit. It's 3 parts. We tried and failed to record the second part.
It's more part 2, take 2. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
We have returned, everybody, to In the Buff.
Part 2, take 2.
I can't wait for this part to come out in,
In
early
4K?
2024.
7 years.
Early 2024.
So,
Here we are, talking about nostalgia. You know what's pretty nostalgic? What I was hoping to feel really nostalgic about tonight?
what is that?
Little show that came out, I think, in this era that we were talking about. Somebody want to confirm that for me?
It came out before this era.
Shit.
Actually, no.
02.
Yes.
Adventure
Oh, yeah,
2.
no, Digimon Adventures 02 came, because it was supposed to take place in 2002.
Oh.
So it did come out in this era, technically.
Isn't that great for them?
Ooh, baby.
We went to go see Digimon Adventure 02.
The beginning.
The movie. And
we had to go back to the beginning.
It wasn't good, guys. It sucked. It's so much cock.
I wanted to die. I've never actually, I've only left a movie theater one time, and that was because the rest of the people I was with wanted to leave also. But I actually turned to you and was like, I'm about ready to walk out.
Are you still
You were
at
saying
the
you were about
movie
ready to
theater
walk
then?
out. Huh?
Is he still at the movie theater then?
This
I don't know.
podcast brought to you by Cinemark.
He's trying his absolute best to be funny recently, and it's just going great.
It's about as entertaining as Digimon The Adventure Part 2, the movie.
You'd be surprised. So, you were saying you wanted to leave. It was because there was this prolonged sequence of Digimon transforming. Digivolving, as they do.
That's the best part.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's the draw.
I was nearly unironic, I'll say nearly, when near the beginning of the movie, they transformed, they did a Digivolve, and I'm like, okay, John, I hope this is 30% of the runtime of the movie.
It's just Digivolves.
It's like, hey, well, if you wanted, there was a Digi-Egg on top of a tower, and new guy introduced was like, I just want to go up there. And Davis was like, we'll fly you up there. Vmon, Digivolve. And then Ken was like, Centipede-mon, Digivolve. Whatever its name is, I don't know.
John,
And then they're like,
we see both of them Digivolve into their flying forms,
separately,
but
they
then,
Digivolved separately.
Yeah, then they each fusion Digivolve, DNA Digivolve into whatever the fuck that guy's name was.
Paildramon.
So that they could, both of the things that they transformed into could fly. So they transform into a bigger thing that can fly together. And then fly him up to the egg. Then they fall off. And then the thing catches
And guess
them.
what? The other 2 Digimon that can Digivolve into things with fucking wings catch them.
Not the one that Digivolved for 3 minutes. But man, that was the best part of the movie.
There's a fundamental misunderstanding here, I think. I don't know anything about Digimon. I just liked watching it when I was a kid. But the point of the Digivolution is to, pump up the audience before, a dramatic scene, like a battle. Not for busy work.
And they tried their best. At the very end, spoiler alert, they fight the big bad guy at the end and win. At the very end, they do that. And they do, a 6-section, division in the screen for each of the 6 fucking Digivolving Digimon.
Hell yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I wanted the whole goddamn movie to be this, and they did that. And then each of the 3 pairs then transform into something even bigger together.
They fused.
But then they just shoot lasers at the thing and they dodge around tentacles and Angelomon gets tentacle raped and then the movie ends.
Oh dear.
Oh, so the thing that they fought, now that I'm looking back on it, was One of the newer generation of Pokemon where they can like Giga evolve, where they just get like
Mega.
No, it's not. It's not Mega.
I think it is.
Gigantix or something. Chris, help me out here. You're the fucking Pokemon nerd.
Gigantamax.
Great, thanks. Thank you
They
for
do
letting me
have
struggle
Megas,
that
though.
whole. Thank you for letting me struggle that whole time.
They
You're
do have
welcome.
megas though, right?
Not
Mhm.
anymore.
But that was a thing. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. That was in Gen 6.
But that's what this Digimon made me think of. Couldn't tell you its name anymore. Kyomon? I don't know.
Oh, it was like Obakumon.
Oh,
Ukimon.
yeah, something like that.
Ukamon.
Yeah, thank you.
Ukamon.
At least somebody was paying
Wasn't even
attention.
close. Mbaku.
But like
And Louie is the guy.
you meet a small version of it, which is like a little Jirachi fucking clone, and
I don't
then
even know what that
Does
means.
and
make
then
Wish.
the end of the fucking movie is a bigger version of it, and it's trying to give Digi eggs to every human in the world,
Billions.
and it's like, okay,
Wait, but I thought the people that had Digimon in the real world were the Digidestined. They were like
Yes.
fated to have Digimon.
They were saying in the movie that every year, like the number of Digidestined throughout the world has been doubling. So at the time of the movie, there's like 60,000 Digidestined.
Oh, doesn't feel very fateful.
Justin.
Also, I'm about to steal a joke from my boy Lee Griff from our comment section. Talking to you, bud. Save the world from a digi disaster. We gotta do a bunch of digibortions.
Oh, God.
They kill a bunch of eggs. They kill a
They
bunch
do.
of eggs to save the day.
They do. But thank God abortion is now legal in Ohio.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell
we still got 29 days before that takes effect.
Oh, I thought they said it already passed.
It passed, but it doesn't go into
I
effect.
need to make some calls.
They've also already said they're on every election following this, they're going to put a thing in to repeal it.
Kyle, you're here?
Yeah.
That
Oh
doesn't
my
make me nostalgic
goodness.
at all.
Wow, holy shit. That's rude.
No, I was talking about the abortions.
So, real quick, do you think because this followed the adventures of the Generation B Digidestined, that this is leading into a reboot of, like, those characters? Because they already rebooted the original Digidestined.
From what I understand, that reboot has nothing to do with this movie. And in fact, they made a tri-series that this movie, like, went out of its way to say wasn't canon anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of liked the tri-series.
I thought...
Granted, I didn't pay for it.
True. That's accurate, you know? Man. Digimon fucking sucks now.
When was it good, John?
Yeah.
When we didn't have the ability to actually process what was going on.
Shugwar.
But here's my segue. This movie reaffirmed to me that Digimon the movie that came out back in our era was genuinely just a solid movie. Not a solid Digimon movie, a solid movie.
I still get giddy watching the Omnimon scene.
Hell
Mhm.
yes,
In the first half,
man.
Dude.
Oh, it's just so good.
If we just take the first half of that and pretend that that's the whole movie.
Not
I
even the
think
first half. It's 30 minutes, guys.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes.
One
I think
episode.
that's just one of the best episodes of Digimon. One of the best anime episodes I've ever seen, genuinely. The dub specifically. That dub does a lot of walking. There's so many funny, like, stupid jokes that make me genuinely laugh.
Our whole ride to the fucking movie theater tonight was me quoting that movie because I took the time to watch it before we went to go see this.
No, John, correction. You watched several clips on YouTube.
You're right, because they took it down. They took down the whole
Right.
movie off of YouTube
Right.
finally.
And you don't have a VHS player anymore.
Yeah.
The music in that movie was just, so iconic. Of the era, but also just makes me incredibly nostalgic. We had the Mighty Mighty
It's
Boss
been-
Stones and, what are they called? Bare Naked Ladies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Smash Mouth.
And that song when Omnimon is killing all the Diaboromons. It's
Mm-hmm.
kick it off and
Yeah.
God.
You can't do, just get it off.
Like, I don't know what was like one of my initial wow moments from anime. Cause like I assume like Goku going like Super Saiyan was probably
Obviously.
the first one. But like this definitely a top tier. When you see like all the cannons fire at Omnimon and like he just pulls out the fucking sword and fucking whips that shit back at them, I'm like, yo dog, the shit's about to kick off, bro.
And then it did.
I love that movie so much. John and I unironically quote Ty's mom so often.
Does anybody want 3 bean chili? No thanks. Oh, that's fine because
I only had 2 beans anyway.
Why does every electronic have to have a bug in it?
Oh, you didn't have to read it so well. Why are we just... No, we can't do this.
I love that so much. He's like, oh yeah, Willis. I'm doing it, Scott. Willis is a kindergarten kid taking college classes already. So what? I'm a junior high kid taking junior high classes. Fucking what?
That might be more than anything. Now that I'm thinking of it, that might be just the movie that most easily plucks that nostalgia string from me.
Yeah.
That takes me back to being a kid. I can just think of the Angela Anaconda thing.
I was trying to find a way to bring it up. I was absolutely going to bring up the Angela Anaconda skit.
Angela,
I wouldn't even know what
too?
the fuck Angela Anaconda was if it weren't for that movie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She was like
show.
blue hued with like freckles.
It was black and white.
I remember blue and her having an orange overall skirt.
It was all like paper craft. It was like shitty
Yeah.
South Park.
I never watched this.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, weirdly, is Annoying Orange.
Yeah.
I could see it.
That like
a
hyper realistic face.
Yeah. Regardless, I really loved that movie, and I was tepid on Digimon. I didn't really follow it because there was just a lot going on that didn't really mean anything to me. Like, it seemed like even in the first series, there's this rich backstory for all these characters, and like Devimon or whatever the fuck his name was, and I didn't know what was going on with him. Oh, he looks evil, and they're gonna beat him. Okay, I'm on board. I just didn't really there was a block for me, and I didn't really get into it. The first time I really got into Digimon was the 3rd series. But then, like John said in the car on the way home, they started like wearing the Digimon like they were mech suits or something, and so I just kind of fell out of interest.
Ooh, that's a late season edition.
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't think I ever figured out when Digimon was airing on any channel, so I watched surprisingly little of the show, which is a true testament to how good that movie is. That movie carries my love for Digimon. And really just the first 30 minutes.
I was gonna say, the rest of the movie, I don't give 2 fucks about. When they have the gold Digi-Egg things, I'm like, bro, who fucking bring back Greymon? Like, fucking come on. Like,
golden armor energize.
Dude, the first 10 minutes where they're just like introducing Koromon and Agumon and all this stuff.
I forgot about that.
And then like Agumon's like fucking I forgot her
Size
name.
of a fucking rhinoceros.
But like Agumon like looks at a truck and she's like, why are you looking at that truck? Please don't blow up that truck. I'm like, bro, this is a little bit close for me. What is happening?
And the animation is so fucking good.
It's so crisp.
I love how they just lowered his voice like 15 octaves.
Yeah.
That's
of
You can do
little
whatever
baby
you want,
Kari,
big guy.
like picking up the cans.
Yeah.
Only one for each of us, okay? Oh, it's
Normally mom just
fucking
puts
cute as shit.
Normally mom just puts money in here, but I guess that works too.
After slamming a fist through the fucking vending machine.
Oh man.
And then like she's trying to do the whistle, but she's coughing. Bro, I had literal chills with how long he did that whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like to talk about that being an awesome part. means that they did something right. And then like the eye opens up and like dilates immediately and the music kicks off. God, I'm a fucking sucker for the music.
It's manipulative.
Well, I got off, guys. I'm good to go now. Thanks.
Oh man. John and I have like went back together like a few times over the years to just like, hey, you want to watch the Digimon movie?
Bro, I want to go back and watch it again. You want to?
We could just watch the first 30 minutes.
I would love that. We just turned it into a watch fest.
Hell yeah.
Probably not a public domain, huh?
What, Digimon?
Digimon the movie 2000?
God, no.
No, but we could do a react to it.
We would get bent over backwards by Toei Animation.
We'd have Bandai.
I'm going digital.
And there's a goddamn Digimon rap at the beginning that we quote all the time.
Bro.
I think to wrap up our discussion of the movie we just watched, I think Chris said it best in the theater. That movie did not have Digitude or Digiability. So, I don't know what the fuck we were doing.
The action was garbage. They blew the load of the Digimon Digivolutions so fast. Like, they went to their fusion form, which was cool. That's everybody's fucking go-to favorite. It has the fucking 2 hip cannon things going on. Yeah. Like,
that's like the one thing I remember.
And then I remember Imperial Dramon because Omnimon and Imperial Dramon eventually fuse in like in a later movie. I don't know. Right, and so like I remember that being a thing. But like that's it. And like the fight was like we watched an hour and a half for like 10 minutes of blue balls.
Oh man.
Fuck.
And if you're listening to this, like, you know, few and far between, I'm sure. If you're listening to this and you really think, man, I thought it was pretty okay. I'm glad. I really am glad you thought the movie was fine and good.
You need to go get checked out.
I'm not going to say that. You like what you like, right? I was not impressed in the slightest. I was just bored. I'll fully admit, a lot of the reason that I was bored of it is I just didn't like the season 2 characters. I hated Davis.
See, that's my problem is I loved Davis.
Oh yeah, I love Davis. Just tie but worse. Great, thanks.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I always had an affinity for Cody from the Gen 2.
His name is
because
Lee.
My name is also Cody.
Armadillomon?
Yeah.
His voice was absolute garbage.
Like in the show, his voice was like, I'm Armadillomon. Here I am. Look at me. I'm gonna Digimon, the drill of power. You know, that's Armadillomon. When in the movie, he talked like this. I'm Armadillomon, and it was awful. Every time he said anything, I laughed, and it was so weird because almost everyone else just had the same actor.
Yeah,
the same voice. Based on my year, at least, definitely Davis, definitely Vmon had the same actors.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Damn.
There were still a couple of funny parts in the movie, but they were like so cringe funny. like the chick, I don't remember the girl's name, with the purple hair, comes back to the dorm room, and you just hear her, what's the password? Digi? And then they repeat, Mon. And it's like, what?
Yoli. Her name's Yoli.
It's so dumb.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
that's bad.
Now we're gonna take bets. Unfortunately these two absolute degenerates.
There's something wrong with me.
Want to go see the Marvels on Friday. So I'm gonna take some bets. Will the Marvels be more or less cringy than the movie we just watched?
Cody, you're gonna, I don't know how you're gonna, I think either your eyes are gonna roll or you're gonna get a kick out of this. I keep trying to push myself away from the MCU. I keep telling you guys, and I'm telling you guys to convince myself that I'm done with it. I'm done with the MCU. Shulk was the last straw.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man was the last straw. And then Loki's been alright. I kind of like Loki season 2. Scott hates it.
I hate season 2.
But then I'm watching fucking Monday Night Football, And during the game, the announcers are like, hey, stick around, you're going to see the final trailer for the Marvels. And I'm like, that's weird. Normally they don't promote this. It just kind of happens. And the beginning of the trailer shows Iron Man and Captain America, and it had Samuel L. Jackson voicing over, talking about the heroes and the people that need to step up, and, you know, there was an idea, all that jazz. And it's like a hard nostalgia bait, but god damn it, I'm in. I'm here for it, you know?
So, no joke, John. I was leaving work today, and I saw the post in the Discord of the movie theater seat selection screen that got posted in there.
Yeah.
And no joke, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, guess they're back together. And just sipped some sweet tea. I guess that's none of my business, but, you know, I thought he said they were done, but I guess not.
Wow.
I told them when we were watching Attack on Titan, which was also definitely should
Holy
not have
fuck,
watched
guys,
Attack
it's
on.
been a week. It's been a week.
Huh?
It's been quite a week for old Scott here.
It's been a lot, and we still have more. But watching Attack on Titan last night and then watching the Digimon movie did not help Digimon at all.
Yeah,
Because Attack on Titan,
the last bit of Attack on Titan was basically just a movie, and it was fucking incredible.
I loved, like, I was leaning forward and just like eyes glued for almost every fucking second of it. It was beautiful.
But none of that happened when we were 9 to 13. Okay?
That's
no,
true.
I guess not.
That's true.
Not even the Marvel movies came out then.
No.
Yeah,
well,
it was right after this era, huh?
No, not quite. There were definitely Marvel movies coming out during this time.
There were Marvel
There was
movies.
no MCU
BL3DE.
We had such classics as Daredevil, Ang Lee's Hulk, Electro,
Hell yeah.
Fantastic
Hell
Four.
yeah.
Not Finn Forstick, the original.
Thank Christ.
Starring Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Evans before he was thick.
I don't know. He had a fucking body on him then, too.
He always made me thick.
Watching Fant Forstick was, with you losers, is still one of the most memorable nights of my life.
Yeah.
I have not laughed so hard.
I wish we were recording that night.
Dude.
We'd never be able to release it, but at least we have the memories.
Even if we were, you know how fucking garbled that shit would be?
That's what I want for our double features, is for all of us in the same room with a mic to our own on a mic arm.
Oh, that would be cool. I would like that.
I love
You just
that
have
so much.
like a big screen, and like we're all just kind of sitting back watching. I would love that. That would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be Fant Forstick.
Got him.
You named a lot of superhero movies, Cody. But I know you were going for the MC. No, not the MCU. Marvel. My favorite superhero movie back then was The Incredibles.
Yeah, 2004. Great year.
The Incredibles is just it's not even superhero movie. It's just a great
Fantastic movie. And like every aspect of what a cinematic experience is. I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but holy shit, the music in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
Holy shit.
The music
and it's
and the
by
writing.
Michael Giacchino, the same guy who did the music for Lost.
Oh, wow.
Fucking everything about that movie is a masterpiece.
Dude, the music and the writing especially was just so good.
Right?
And it was, I think one of the reasons it really sticks with people from our generation in particular is it was like really dark
Yeah.
for a movie like
It
this.
is.
Right. Yeah, that whole subplot about Mr. Incredible figuring out that Syndrome has been murdering all of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that conversation that Helen has with Violet where she's like, this isn't a Saturday morning cartoon. You guys will get shot to death.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like these are real guys
These
with
people
real guns.
will kill you.
Yeah.
They don't care your kids. They will kill you.
Remember
Dude.
that part where Dash motorboated his mom?
Huh?
Yeah. I
Right?
remember that, John. I remember
It's
that
such-
scene.
All the way to the beach.
Why'd you have
Wow.
to say it like that?
It's
How
true.
else would you say
He said
it?
it the way it happened.
Carrying on the theme from last episode, I also played the mediocre Incredibles tie-in video game.
I played it, but only the demo at Toy Story or at Toys R Us, right?
It's another company that doesn't exist.
Was it the level where you're playing as Violet and Dash running around in the ball?
No, it was the level where you are. I was. What's his name? Mr. Incredible. And like, I just remember being like, "Oh, it's so cool! I'm so strong!" And I grabbed one of those like flying disc things, and I chucked it at another one. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the best game ever!" And then we left Toys R Us.
They had some questionable choices in the game,
Yeah.
like the level where you play as Dash after he missed the bus.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's the first level you play as
You
Dash.
had to get to school.
Were you playing, was it Temple Run?
It's basically Temple Run, but at super speed.
I was thinking about this the other day, that Temple Run is pretty much what Sonic Adventure was.
For your phone.
Yeah.
Mm.
There were certain levels, especially the city level, in Sonic Adventure, where it was like, what's that shitty song? Follow me, set me free, trust me, and we can escape from the city. Just me?
No.
Just me, everybody? Just
you.
me?
Yep.
I was more of a Sonic Heroes household.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
That came out in 2004.
What is wrong with you?
You don't like Sonic Heroes? That not on
I
anybody's
think
radar?
most of Sonic's canon is bad.
Yeah, I believe Sonic media is just not for me.
What the hell
Yeah.
is Sonic?
It's a restaurant.
Oh, dude, my mom loves Sonic.
Yeah.
It's going bankrupt.
Unfortunate, huh? It's because
For
people
like
stopped
the
learning how
third
to use
time,
the
right?
skates.
Get this. My aunt, man, you just unlocked a memory for me. I know this was like a dumb bit. My aunt, this is around that era, so it fucking counts for me. My mom would force me to go on trips to Tennessee with her, which was cool for the most part. But she'd bring
Force me.
the rest of her family. And we'd have to make trips to Sonic almost daily. And every single time, my aunt would order a banana-less banana split.
So she just wanted ice cream?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, bro. And then she would fucking pop her dentures out and gum it. And I'm like, this is nightmare fuel. What is happening?
I can just imagine them skating up to your window. Here's your bowl of ice cream. You're paying an extra 50 cents to call it a banana split.
And like every time she would say, I would like a banana split, but can you hold the banana?
She knew that she should be ashamed.
I don't
Just
understand.
ask for ice
Yeah.
cream, damn it.
I don't think I
don't
get
get
it.
it. I don't get it. It didn't make it. Even now, it doesn't make sense to me. And I saw her order that motherfucker like 40 times.
Wait, hold on. It might be cheaper to get a banana split with no banana than getting a
Than to
cup
get, like,
of ice cream
a
with
regular
strawberry
fucking sundae?
and
If that's the
I don't know,
case,
man.
good
All that
for
stuff.
her for saving like $10.
Over the course of 40 orders.
Happy for her, man.
You know what you've just reminded me of, John? Is you used to go to the flea markets and get like the knockoff shitty Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes! They were so bad and stupid. And sometimes they were in Spanish. Sometimes they were in Japanese.
They
I
had
remember
And you
getting
just
a
had to like
card.
guess what the card did. And even when they were English, it was hit or miss on if it was right.
It was not
Right.
fluent English.
I remember it was the biggest flex to have Tunisian Egyptian god cards, but they'd always
Yep.
be called stuff like Red Sky Dragon.
Mega Ultra Chicken. That's from the Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge.
Buff
That one
blue
is
guy.
from, I think that's from TTS, isn't it?
What?
The Mega Ultra Chicken
Team
is
4-Star.
from,
No, that's Yu-Gi-Oh Abridged.
Lil
Yeah,
Karibo.
that's Team
Ooh.
4-Star.
oh.
No,
Nope.
it's not Team 4-Star.
Oh. I've only heard that from, Emperor has a text-to-speech device.
Oh.
They do a Yu-Gi-Oh crossover in that for whatever
I
reason.
summon Slifer, the executive producer.
Screw the rules. I have money.
In a few hours, the sun will rise.
What does that mean?
Thanks, Joey.
You know what that does.
Oh man, Yu-Gi-Oh is such a big deal for us.
Bro.
God.
Oh my god. I remember...
My pathetic grandpa has no cards, Kaiba.
There it is.
To elucidate to the viewer, listener, I suppose, we would get together usually every weekend and have these, like, this is not regulation, just like 5-person free-for-all Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Yep.
Yep. And you might think, hey, oh, so these guys actually have been around each other since they were little, because there's 5 of us
Sorry,
here.
Chris.
No,
Sorry,
Chris still did not exist. This was when we were with Garrett.
Yeah, Chris metamorphosed
Right.
from Garrett, I believe.
Or Andy.
Oh, or Andy. So
Andy
6 of us.
doesn't count, he's Asian.
Right.
It was we either had Andy or we had Garrett. They were almost never allowed over at the same
do you
time.
remember when they fucking got in a fight because of Monopoly?
Yes.
What,
At
hold on.
your house.
Like,
It was like a full-on, I was scared that our friendship was about to fracture
like
moment.
it was the craziest shit. Because, like, they were actually getting mad at each other. And then one of them smacked one of the other, and the other one fucking retaliated and smacked him back. And then, like, they walked outside for a minute, came back, and then shook hands, and we continued playing.
It was the Star Wars Monopoly, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, you guys good?
What
And
happened?
they're like, yep.
See,
Whose
Board
turn is it?
games were high
didn't have-
stakes in our friend group.
Yeah.
Scott and I almost ruined our friendship over Risk
Mm-hmm.
because we couldn't agree on the rules.
See, I wasn't playing board
I was
games
almost
with
certainly
friends.
incorrect.
I fucking hated Andy during Risk. Every single time, I'm gonna turtle in Australia and then lose to
Australia
whoever.
is the key to the game, John.
He turtles up in Australia and then just accepts second place, and he's proud of it. Like, fuck you, dude. He's like, well, I lasted longer than you. Eat my fucking dick, bro.
Man,
Oh.
incredible.
Chris, you were trying to say something. I think all of us cut you off at
Nah,
one
it's
point.
fine. It was a stupid joke. It's fine.
Oh, okay then.
We didn't have board games growing up.
Wow. So you're just trying to make us feel bad?
No. I'm saying I don't have these memories that you guys have.
He didn't have friends.
I didn't.
Oh.
I was too busy being abused.
He was too busy watching Teen Titans.
It's probably better that you weren't with us
Christ.
because we beat the fuck out of Garrett, bro.
I never touched him. Like, maybe one time I playfully slapped him on the shoulder.
I remember hitting him in the nuts with a baseball.
What the hell? Why? Why did you do that?
No, he was on my baseball team. He just didn't catch it.
At least it was an accident.
I'm pretty confident Katie gave him a concussion. Or maybe that was me. One of the two of us did.
The freaking the battery to the drill or whatever that fell on
It
his
was
head.
it was actually a cordless drill charger, so it was significantly heavier. And then I believe Katie hit him in the head with a mallet.
Yeah, I do remember the mallet. I remember
I
the
think
mallet.
after the cordless drill charger, I think he went home that night.
I think part of him didn't go home. Part of him never came back. All right.
Part of him's still down there in that basement.
Man.
I wish him nothing but the best. We weren't good
Same.
friends.
He has a child.
I'm laughing
Oh, dear.
so hard. Oh, okay.
Something that we didn't really get a chance to talk about in the last episode was how looking at the time, man, I'm about to quote The Office, everybody. Isn't that fun? I think genuinely one of the most heartfelt moments in the entire Office is, I think it's Andy saying, "I wish you knew you were in the good times before they were already gone." or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really feel that with this era. And something that kind of personifies that, or not, that's probably symbolizes that strongest in my mind, is Teen Titans. For real. At the time, I really enjoyed the show, but looking back, I constantly underestimate how important Teen Titans was to me, just as a person. Like, I'm fairly certain the reason that I like the kinds of girls that I like is because of Teen Titans.
Yeah? Would you like to
As
elaborate?
silly
I
as that
respect
sounds.
that. Raven, Starfire,
Raven,
Blackfire.
and redhead goth girls.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't like Starfire that much. Like, I like redheads are cute, don't get me wrong. I just thought she was a freaking idiot, and that made her annoying to me.
I was so okay with that.
I've never liked the I'm stupid and funny character, and it's interesting because I've made fucking 2 of them for D&D.
Speaking of which, that's kind of when we got our start back then.
Motherfucking
Yeah.
3.5.
If we really want to be real bad about how we were playing D&D.
Well, guys, I'm going to bed. So see ya.
I still have the character sheet for Rocklore.
Really?
I can pull it out right now and tell you the bullshit that I wrote on it.
Dude,
Holy shit.
you can also, like, you can tell it impacted us a lot, too, because Cody even added a little Easter egg drop of Rocklar near the end of his campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
A
it's just
character that you guys had been interacting with turned out to be a character you actually knew.
Here's a bit of a sense of how goddamn overpowered these characters were. I'm level 12, Rocklar was. His grapple check is 361.
What the fuck?
I
He
thought
has a
it was going to be
strength.
high. I didn't think it would be triple digits.
His strength is 23. His dex is 28. His con is 20. His int is 33. His wisdom is 28, and his charisma is 26.
Holy, at level 12?
Yeah.
He was also playing a Mind Flayer, and we didn't know what we were doing.
I think I was playing a lizard man.
I thought that was Andy.
Oh, maybe it was Andy. What was I a human? I might have been.
Yeah,
a human.
you were just a human.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well,
I mean,
your
your-
first character was a Balor.
Yep.
Remember the I got swords, stab self in head because you were thinking that's how drunk people act?
This is interesting, Kyle. Okay, so you do remember that scene. I have brought that scene up independently on this podcast before. Nobody else knows what I'm talking about.
I don't
I was the
remember
fucking
this.
DM. I distinctly remember John because we had been staying up all night. John was incredibly tired, and he's like, I'm gonna, what was the character's name? I'm gonna go drinking or something. And then we came back to him, and he's like, I have 2 swords, and stabbed himself in the head.
I don't remember this at all.
I'm not surprised.
I barely remember that whole epic because I was like a level frickin' 60 druid or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I believe
Right,
I was
you were
a
the-
half-elf sorcerer. Edric Vasquez.
Dude, there's one real thing that I remember from the time. It's because we quote it so goddamn much. Everybody say it with me now. Friend or foe?
Shocking grass.
Yep.
That character for me was, shit. What's his name, John?
What?
What's the character's name? The Shocking Grasp guy.
The gnome.
You used him. He was the mayor or something in a world you made.
Oh no.
He was a gnome with a raven familiar, right?
Yeah. And like, I thought it tickled me to death that I could like have a conversation with this raven.
I can remember this character almost 15 years later, but I have no
Harvey
idea.
Winkelstein.
Yep,
Harvey
there we go.
Winkelstein,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We did like one session of that game, and
Yep.
it ended after Garrett showed up and was like, friend or foe, and I shocking grasped him, and like, obviously I said it as a joke, but like, we didn't know how things worked.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it, and I think I killed him.
Yep.
Dude. I remember that. And then I remember the sleepovers. Specifically, a tube of wrapping paper getting funneled through my head. Because Kyle
He brings
threw
this
like
up
a
so
fucking
often.
javelin.
Yep, I remember that night.
Let's do our annual, like, I say annual, let's do our, like, customary Chris check-in. Chris, how you feeling?
Well, your guys' talk is reminding me of my first D&D character.
That's great, man. So anyway, what were you saying, Kyle?
John laughed himself completely off the microphone.
That's incredible.
I'm sorry, Chris. What was your first? When was your first D&D character?
It was in high school.
Okay, so it didn't fit the.
Oh,
Yes,
dude,
it doesn't fit the parameters.
my
Guys, I don't want to bring the mood down here, but I had a very disturbing realization sitting here recording this podcast.
I have nothing in common with Chris. Why do I talk to him?
Well, it does have to do with you, Chris, in that I feel bad because all of us are just sharing all of these fun stories from our times together in childhood, and you weren't there.
the one story that Chris shared was him getting beat.
You'll find out quickly that most of my stories from my childhood are me getting beat.
Jesus.
Well, here's something that we can bond over, Chris. In 2003, Beyonce released her first solo album. Yeah? Did you like Beyonce back then?
Who didn't? What was the name of the album, John?
I don't remember.
Sing one song from it.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies.
That's not.
Was that
that's
from
not
that one?
2003.
It's like
think
that's
that
like
was from-
2008.
Oh, fuck. That
It
reminds
might be
me
later.
of Glee. Ugh.
Listen, we don't have to talk about Glee. Glee was 2010, 2011, 2012, okay?
Oh, good.
We don't got to talk about Glee, all right?
Wait, John, did you watch Glee?
Yes.
What?
Wrong with you?
Guys, listen, I dated a girl that was really into it,
Oh,
and it got
okay,
me,
I
and,
gotcha.
you know,
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
you read the terrain. Honestly, Glee wasn't that bad. I got into it for about 2 seasons, and then we broke up, and I never watched it again.
It would have been funnier if you had kept watching.
I tried.
Honestly,
Do you
I
not
think
want
after
to be
season
funny,
2,
John?
nobody wanted to keep watching it.
Wow. He just dropped an opinion on Glee, and I have no context for how I should feel about it.
I don't know how I should feel either.
Great. And it has nothing to do with the era we're talking about.
Yep.
Right.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Here's a hot take. Anybody have some hot takes from this era? Here's my hot take. I don't think Shrek 2 is all that great.
You bastard.
I just found out here in the last week that the original Shrek had a book that it was based off of.
Are
Yeah.
you for real?
Yeah?
It's an adaptation. Well,
No.
a loose adaptation.
I'm saying, how did you not know that, Kyle?
I
Oh.
never
Kyle,
heard
how
of the
did you
book.
not know that?
Yeah,
I
Kyle.
knew that. I read that book for AR.
What's the A stand for again?
Accelerated.
I think it's advanced.
Yeah,
Accelerated.
accelerated reading
Oh.
program.
When did we
And they
start
are?
ARs? I was always
Fourth grade.
I was always a little too far ahead for my own good on that.
Jesus Christ, fucking humble brag, why don't you?
No, because then I fucking walked myself into trying to read Atlas Shrugged for that thing, and
You
oh.
idiot.
Yeah, and you know what was bad was I saw that it was 115 points or for whatever on those tests. I was like, cool, I'll do that one, and I'll never have to do any again for the rest of the year. And the teacher's still like, no, you still have to do one every month.
Who
I was like-
in their right minds at whatever people was creating the AR program was like, yeah, Atlas Shrugged is a reasonable book for a child to be reading.
Hell yeah.
I attempted to read War and Peace for that, and I made it through the first page, and I'm like, this is so fucking boring.
Chris, you haven't even finished goddamn House of Leaves. And you're 30 or something. How old are you?
Almost.
Almost.
Come on, Chris, share
Doesn't
it.
even
I'm
give
30.
a number, just almost.
29. And
You're almost there, buddy.
You can tell.
I'm just gonna go to bed.
You know, the only book series I read was The Hunger Games.
No, man, that's not true. You read the Percy Jackson.
Huh?
What are you talking about? You didn't read Percy Jackson?
Sorry,
I never read that.
were we forced to read it in school?
No, you're so passionate about how shitty the movie was.
Fuck no! I fucking hated reading when I was young. I'm still
the whole
not big into
time,
it now.
I thought you were so angry because it was worse than the book.
No, I just thought the fucking movie was stupid.
John, I think you're the only one who can remember this. I think you're the only one who would remember this with me. Do you remember the book that we were reading in social studies that was about the prisoner in the gulag during fucking Soviet Russia?
Oh, the Gulag Archipelago? Was it Solzhenitsyn?
No. I have zero clue what this book is even called.
Cody, carry me through this because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm trying, man. I'm throwing out Solzhenitsyn here.
I can't remember at all. It was such a terrible book. I have no idea why he had us read that.
What? Great. I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm sorry. It just it popped into my head while you guys were talking about
what
books.
What grade was this?
I think we were either freshmen or sophomores.
Oh, well, you're already out of the era anyways. I don't want to talk about
well
that.
outside
Right.
of the era.
I was just curious if literally anyone else remembered this fucking book.
I probably didn't finish it.
I was being homeschooled by that point.
Right.
Like, no joke. This might
And the
explain
teacher
a lot,
got
actually.
fired before Cody got to him.
I didn't finish a lot of the reading materials I was supposed to finish.
I
Same.
believe that.
Like,
I've always just been a fast reader, so
Uh-huh.
it was never a question of if I finished it, it was if I absorbed any of it.
it
Right.
reached the point where I found a website that just gave you recap on it.
Cliff Notes.
And
yes.
my brother was studying to become an English teacher. So he showed me the websites that people would usually get to figure out what questions they wanted to ask, what were good questions to ask about knowing the book. So I was just able to cheat that way.
And look at you now.
And look
a
at me now.
college dropout.
I'm fucking 10 chapters into A Way of Kings. I'm getting there.
Nice. You've had that
Yeah.
you've been working on that for like, what, a year now?
Something, give or take, a couple months, yeah.
Wow. Well, plus or minus.
It's
huh?
made its way to my nightstand. I read it once every couple of weeks.
You're not going to want that book back.
You're going to want that book back.
everything in the book that is even remotely sensual is very tastefully done.
Everything the light touches.
Speaking of reading, not really, but kind of. In this era, the main comic book that I was a part to was the Ultimates series in
Mhm.
Marvel,
Mhm,
Marvel
mhm.
Ultimates, and looking back, it was absolute dog shit. It was horrible. The only good thing I think in the entirety of the Ultimates universe was Colossus is gay, and Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, just had truly amazing art. So whoever the artist was for that, props to you. You really touched a little boy down there, huh?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
There
great
we go,
that I
baby.
worded it in
Yes,
that way?
we're back to the wordplay.
A lesser-known Spider-Man game from this era was Ultimate Spider-Man for the PlayStation 2.
You don't even
And-
think that I was going to bring that up, huh?
Mm.
that you, because last we interrupted me in the last podcast. You were saying that you think that back then, arguably the best Spider-Man game to have come out was Spider-Man 2. But I disagree. I think it's Ultimate Spider-Man. I fucking loved the shit out of that game.
I liked it too. I will say, not to be a stickler, Spider-Man 2 came out first, so it can be the best one for that time, and then a year
Absolutely.
later, Ultimate Spider-Man can be the best.
I disagree.
that?
I loved being Venom, and you could just straight up eat children.
Yep. Yep.
With all this Spider-Man talk, I think we need to bring up the animated Spider-Man.
That's a bit early.
Yeah.
That was like 90s.
Oh.
Speaking of games,
Not for Chris, it wasn't.
Chris, if you were watching
Da-da-da-da-da.
Spider-Man cartoons when you were 8 years old, you can talk about it.
I remember this one episode where the giant wheel guy showed up.
Yeah?
It was interesting.
No, for real. I really did love that show so much, though. Spider blood, radioactive spider blood. I love that.
Then there was the X-Men show with it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude.
I think I've talked about this in the podcast. I've definitely talked about this with you guys. Spider-Man, that cartoon, like, was my induction into the Marvel universe, really. And, like, I didn't really know there was a difference between Marvel and DC. So I would watch Batman the Animated Series. And it's awesome. Obviously. I don't think I have to be the one to tell you it's fucking awesome. And I would always get frustrated because Spider-Man would team up with all of these people. And I'm like, man, these people are cool. Why doesn't he team up with goddamn Batman? And fight Batman's criminals, and they, like, take down the Joker and double team Harley Quinn. Why don't they do that? And it was in the Spider-Man show that I was introduced to Iron Man. And I am an Iron Man hipster. It was that episode that made him my favorite superhero. Because I just loved the idea that I was way too stupid, guys. I loved the idea that it was just a rich guy, and it was like a juxtaposition in my mind of Batman. Batman's like, I'm super rich, and I'm going to train my body and my mind to be the perfect crime-fighting machine. And Iron Man was like, I'm going to make a robot that just fights bad guys for me. That's what I thought it was. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I want to be that smart someday.
Yeah.
I never got super big into comics, but I remember the comic that sticks out to me is when Doc Ock gets control of Spider-Man, like they swap minds or something.
Yeah.
And Doc Ock just fucking, like, he punches, like, Scorpion or whatever, and just, like, obliterates his jaw, and he's like, oh my god.
I'm pretty strong.
Spider-Man's been holding back this whole time.
That whole series is pretty weird because it's like when he's inside, Peter dies.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it is Doc Ock inside Peter, but it's just Peter, it's more Peter Parker because in that issue, he, like, goes through basically what it was for Spider-Man to lose Uncle Ben and becomes Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just kind of weird.
Yep.
That's really weird.
I think my first introduction to comics, specifically Spider-Man comics, was during this era. I remember getting, like, maybe a dozen comic books, one a week, and not being interested in them at all. It's one of those things where you're like, I'd be really into that. And then you experience it and you're like, this is kind of lame and I don't understand it.
Wow. For me, I was super poor, so most of the exposure I had to comics was from luckily our library had comic books. Usually only the big ones, like the big novels. So, like, friggin' way too young for the time Scott read Watchmen.
Oh, dear.
And I loved it. I loved the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I can't remember where it was. It was when I would go to my grandparents' house. I can't remember the name of the town. On the way there, they would have this, like, it was basically just a place where people would give old shit for free.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that old shit was old comic books. And I took home truckloads of comic books from, like, all across. It was during this era that I learned, oh, DC and Marvel aren't the same thing. In fact, I think DC kind of sucks cock. And because I would get, like, the Superman comics or who's the Green Lantern comics and be like, this isn't grabbing me. This isn't fun or interesting to me. But then I was super into, I remember, man, I just got a memory from thinking of this. There's this whole arc that I discovered, that I read through for the X-Men. And I just remember the art style for it was, like, almost spooky. Like, it was weirdly realistic. And I remember being unnerved and, like, not really wanting to see what the picture was on the next one on the next page. Because at one point, early on, one of the X-Men gets shot. Man, I haven't thought about this in so long. One of the X-Men gets shot, and you can, like, it just looks so visceral. It definitely wasn't for somebody my age.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't thought about that in so long. I can't really remember what about it that unnerved me. Regardless, I can't even remember who it was. It might have just been, I think it was a lady, and I just remember being like, man, I don't like seeing this pretty lady, like, bleeding all over the place because she was shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really real. Regardless, I wish I could remember that. All of those comic books are gone now. In the trash.
Yay.
Rip.
Isn't that great?
I want to hear something we could reminisce about. In this era, late era, a very important game got released, Guitar Hero 2.
Hell yeah.
We touched on it briefly, I think, in the last episode, did we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What we didn't bring up is that our friend and co-host, Scott here, was like pro-grade Guitar Hero player. Like, FC'd Through the Fire and Flames on Expert, you know, that kind of level. And he was my idol growing up. He's who I looked up to when I was starting out in Guitar Hero.
Yep.
Part of the reason that I kind of... Wow. Oh, I'm making a lot of realizations in this podcast, huh? Part of the reason that I kind of roll my eyes when you guys talk about how good, and I kind of I underplay how good you guys felt I was at that game.
You were amazing.
Is because it didn't really feel I was like all that good at the game. And here's my rationalization for that. Because the game, I don't really think it's all that skillful to 100% even something like Through the Fire and Flames. Because I can just sit there going through the same part and learning it and knowing exactly the way my fingers need to be to play those notes to not miss them. It reminds me of Dark Souls.
Dude.
Which
When I say it's like
I understand
fakely-
that it's simplified from actually playing a guitar, but the actual like guitar player and singer from Dragon Force can't play the song consistently.
Well, that's because he's too busy banging chicks, you know?
He's banging chicks and doing blow, dog.
But like that, in my head, this is the realization I just made. It's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that games like Dark Souls are fake difficulty. It's difficult because I haven't fought this enemy before.
It's a learning
it's-
curve game.
It's difficult in the way that a song that I've never heard on Guitar Hero on Expert is difficult.
Sure.
Once I play the song and I know the song,
But
I'm going to be like, okay, I can follow along.
Okay, tell me any game that is not that way.
Any skill game.
Name
Rocket
one.
League is not that way at all.
I mean, but to an extent it is, because you see off the jump, you hit that ball, it hits the corner, you now know, okay, I'm going to get to this position, I'm going to jump, I'm going to turn my car and spin, and it's going to go in. Like,
But when I'm playing Rocket League compared to playing something like Dark Souls, with Dark Souls I'm watching a video of a guy walking up to me and attacking me.
I mean, for the PvE part, sure. The PvP stuff is you've still got
yeah, sure. When you're facing another person, that whole argument is gone. I'm talking about only for the PvE stuff.
Okay,
But even
then we can't talk about Rocket League because Rocket League is only PvP.
well, no, I can understand the PvE aspect of it, but like even when playing people, like there's certain things that you can just do that like it's like ingrained into you. Like there's things that you can do on Rocket League that you are so used to doing that I can't do it, and I played close to as long as you have. Like, I probably haven't put in the same amount of hours, but we've essentially started playing the game around the same time. Regardless, though, I remember...
you guys are right. I am amazing.
You are amazing. I remember you trying to pump me up through Freebird, and, like, we got to the solo. I was, like, you told me to skip hard and go straight to expert, because hard and expert were basically the same thing.
Yeah, going from hard to expert is like... If you've mastered hard, then what are you doing? It's just more notes.
Mm-hmm. And like I remember, I got most of the way through the solo, and you're like, "Come on, dude, you're just right there. You're almost there." And like I was just hanging on by a thread, so close. The crowd was booing the entire time because I was so close to failing. And like right when the solo ended, I took a breath and missed the strum and lost. And you were like, dude, you were right there. Come on, let's do it again. I'm like, no, I hate this game. And then I went and ate a Pop-Tart while you fucking just crushed whatever song was next. And I was like, bro.
This is the last I'll say of it. If the absolute best Souls game player in the entire world was presented with Melania for the very first time, Melania would rip his asshole open for 5 hours until he finally beat her. If the absolute best Guitar Hero player in the entire world were presented with Through the Fire and Flames for the very first time and never heard the song before, they would nowhere come close to 100%ing it for 5 fucking hours.
How long do you think it would take him to get through the beginning?
Like, that's like the majority of the time they're going to spend. Because the skill isn't transferable. If you were... I'm sure it's like playing... It's been years, literal decades since I played Guitar Hero. If you were to give me the controller, it'd be like probably riding a bicycle, but then just present me with a song that I've never heard and don't know, and just say, play it, there's no way I'm gonna like do well on it, because I don't know the song. It's the same with fighting Melania. That's, to me, is like fake difficulty.
I only have
the skill isn't transferable to something that I don't recognize.
I have one Guitar Hero memory, which was we were playing at John's house. I don't remember what the song was. I only had
Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, it was Guitar Hero 3 we were playing.
On the Wii.
Yep.
I was on the Wii. I don't remember exactly what song it was.
Kyle, you've done so great with your memories.
I know, they're gone. It's all fucking gone.
I'm the one who lost everything.
Well, I barely remember.
Quick, shameless self-promotion. What was your guys' Guitar Hero band names? We've already shared this, but it's just for the audience.
Yeah.
Mine was Blood Right, spelled R-I-T-E.
Yeah. Thanks to this... Shout out to Garrett again. Him and I's like dream band one day was called Hard Left.
Hard Left.
And that was my Guitar Hero band.
I loved that name.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I would name my band.
I don't either.
Man, you are doing great this podcast. Our host.
I remember when did Rock Band come out?
Very shortly after Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
It came after Guitar Hero 4, I thought.
Okay.
I stopped paying attention.
There was some controversy where the people from the Guitar Hero team broke off and became Harmonix.
Oh, that's right.
And then they made...
Yeah.
I just remember whoever...
I remember hearing about that and like being jaded against Rock Band.
Mm-hmm.
I remember whoever
it was fine.
Whoever had vocals, just they never sung, but it was always just
it was all just like vocal training.
Again, it's the same thing I'm kind of talking about with not knowing the song. If you don't know the song,
you can't sing.
But even the songs that we did know, we were all just too embarrassed to sing in front of each other.
I think
so.
How
the turntables have
turned.
That's 2 Office quotes from Scott. I don't even like The Office that much.
I'll say I enjoyed Rock Band 1 and 2, but if the guitar gimmick in Guitar Hero is already gimmicky, drums and vocals are off the gimmick cliff.
Those drums were so fucking hard to play.
Oh, they were so bad.
Oh, thank God.
Never could broach that.
Thank God, because I was sitting here thinking about how bad I was at drums, and like, I have lived a shelf life of just like, thinking that I was holding our our fucking Rock Band back, being the drummer. I have lived with that guilt for decades.
It's so hard. Because there's just like a part... There's an intrinsic part of your brain that's like, your right foot doesn't know what the fuck it's doing, so why do you think it does? What are you doing? Stop it. You don't know what to do, man. You can't do this and your hands, okay?
It gave me a huge respect for drummers and bands now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've never been able to play set. Is because I just can't. My right foot, if it's doing anything, it's just going to be the same thing on the beat.
Have you tried?
I can't independently like do the double bass like the like.
Mhm.
Have you tried left foot?
I mean, left foot's. We're not
You
going
know
to
what?
talk about my left
You know
foot.
what? Let's get the band back together, guys.
How about we don't?
Rocket Band. That's it. I keep trying to say Rocket League. Rocket Band.
John, I don't want to. There's 5 people in the call, and there's only 4 people that can be in the band.
Yeah, somebody can be the manager. Chris?
I guess that'll. No, Chris has to sing. I'm gonna go be the manager.
No, Kyle, you have to be face.
Why do I have to be face?
Okay, all right.
Why did you choose me for that?
My vote goes to Cody for face if we're gonna have a face.
Cody's gonna have to be the face.
Cody,
I'm gonna be the
thoughts?
singer. Okay, so singer and face aren't necessarily
Synonymous.
the same role.
Yeah,
Face
absolutely.
could be the lead guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Scott's gonna be lead guitarist. I'll take
No,
rhythm
Scott's
or
on the
bass.
piano.
Oh,
There is
that's
no
right.
there is no
Guitar
piano.
or there was a
Was
piano.
there?
Yeah. In I think Rock Band 3 had a piano.
God damn it! They
Some-
try to pull me out.
Sometimes the drummer's the face.
Name
Yeah.
one.
Phil Collins.
The guy from the Kinks.
Dave
I don't know.
Grohl.
Maybe it was the Hives. Who was it?
Dave
The,
Grohl
You
just
Really
plays a
Got Me
lot of
guy.
different instruments.
No, that was the Kinks.
You really got
It
me
was the
now.
Kinks. He was
Yeah.
the.
You know what?
he was
Fuck
the
it. I'll be
drummer.
the singer.
He was the drummer and the singer.
I have a good vocal range.
Technically, the face of Fleetwood Mac was Fleetwood Mac, and he was the drummer.
Well,
Wow.
hang on
He's
there.
my favorite member.
Fleetwood was his first name.
No, he was actually a truck. It was a model of truck, Fleetwood Mac
Oh
truck.
shit, dude.
Did you ever wonder why there's so much horn in their songs?
Oh man.
Guys,
Wow.
can I talk about something real quick?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So in this era of early childhood, there are some skills that you expect kids to learn, right?
Okay.
Can you give us some
Um,
examples?
I don't like where this is going.
I'm gonna have one specific example real quick.
I
Okay.
don't like where this is going.
At the CrossFit classes, we every once in a while do like double unders.
Yeah.
I still
like
don't
jump
like
rope,
this.
where you take a jump rope and you go up so high that you can get it to go under you twice
Oh, okay.
before you come
Okay.
back down. I never learned how to jump rope,
Yeah.
and I feel
Aw.
fucking retarded every single time.
I remember there was a gym class where I've never been physically fit, guys. Spoiler alert.
Mhm.
There was a gym class where I just kind of got it, and it was as simple as that with the jump rope. I'm just like, oh, I've been stupid this whole time. Okay, I just get it now.
I also never learned how to properly swim.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Like
I just
I
kind
get
of lay there.
Don't sink. It's usually as good as most people need to get.
yeah, but like I'm just very bad at swimming.
Do you guys remember when we went to the wave pool at
Um,
Kings Island and you guys kept your shirt on and would just inflate them in the wave pool and
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
sit
that
there
was the
like
most
giant
fun part.
tomatoes?
That's never why I kept my shirt on.
It's not why we kept our shirt on either.
It was a nice bonus.
But Chris, I kept my shirt on because sunburn.
Right. You wanted to look like a weird, like...
Yeah, I
Pale
was definitely
baby.
that kid.
The one thing I remember from that trip was you crushing hard on their second cousin.
Oh God, Kyle Cody, she was hot as fuck, bro.
You can't say that.
I
Happily
crushed.
married, 3 kids.
Yep, she is happily married. I'm happy for her. But there was a time where we were talking.
There was a time, this also isn't part of the era, we're just talking about nostalgia in general now, I guess. There was a time where I was fairly confident there's a good chance that him and this lady will just be in a relationship together. So I'm going to be seeing more and more of her around, probably. And she was sitting next to me in math, so I made an effort. I made an effort to be, like, friendly and nice to her. And man, did that backfire for me.
Yeah.
she did not compliment my personality so well.
Did you guys have a big wheel growing up?
We did.
No, I was poor.
Cody and I did for a little bit.
Chris out of left field.
A lot of my life was revolved around a big wheel.
Before the house burnt down, we had a big wheel. Cody had a big
Melted?
wheel specifically.
Oh, I thought your ears didn't melt.
I don't.
Wait, did the big wheel melt in the house fire?
I think so.
It's all
That's
plastic.
awesome.
One of my earliest memories is I hopped on the big wheel, and my grandparents live on kind of a busy road. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to explore the countryside. So I got on the big wheel and went on the road and just went down like 10 houses. And then was like, this is nice. And then I turned around and came back, and everyone was looking for me. Like,
Cruising
where
down the
fuck did
street
Chris
in my
go?
big wheel.
What a
I have
beautiful
a-
story.
I have a weirdly similar story that is almost kind of sad. Maybe you all have similar stories to this. When I first got my bike and I like learned how to ride it, like I'm sure a lot of kids feel this way. It was like the world was suddenly so small.
Mm.
Suddenly I could just go around my whole town with this bike and it was mine. But the opposite effect occurred where I was given all of this freedom, and honestly it was probably to my detriment because I went out and I'm like, man, this sucks dick. I could be home playing Banjo-Tooie.
Right?
It's funny you say that. I never really rode a bike until, like, you and I would ride together.
Yeah.
And that was about 3 times before it fucking turned out sour for me. We were riding in the back
We
of...
should not have been riding on that. Oh, I guess that's where you're supposed to ride it though.
Yeah.
On the church parking lot, and you hit hard.
So, that church parking lot had 2 entrances. It had a steep, quick entrance that I kept seeing you go down. And, like, you would hit the handbrake and leave, like, a skid mark. And I'm like,
That's the
God.
game.
I'm like, he's so cool. I'm too much of a fucking pussy to do that. I'm gonna look at the other entrance, which was a slow and steady decline. And I went down it, and I was going, and I was picking up speed, and I made my attack run, and then I was going too fast to stop. And young me panics, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. The pedals are moving too fast. I need to get my feet off of them. And then I'm like,
Wow.
I look forward, nearly fucking clip the one fucking street light in the or pole in the fucking parking lot. Fun fact, my brother hit that pole when he was learning how to drive. And I look up and I see a creek coming. And that creek is just littered with like broken pieces of concrete and rocks and all this jazz. Like I was about
This
to
is
get
about the time
fucked up.
where me watching him, like I was like, oh yeah, look how fast he's going, and I saw him approaching the like. It's basically just a really small riverbed,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh my god, he's actually gonna die before my eyes.
And like I'm holding onto my steering, like my handles, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I have to turn. And I'm just gonna turn slightly, and then I just fucking hard right and yeet myself off the bike like fucking 15 feet, and just roll
wasn't
for like
that
another
far.
10 feet, and fucking break my wrist.
Incredible.
Oh
was-
man.
Then we
Terrible.
stopped riding bikes.
Cody, you
I never
remember-
rode a bike again.
Do you remember when we would have the blizzards out here, and we would dig snow tunnels
Mm-hmm.
in our snowsuits? Remember when we found that big chunk of ice and made a ramp at the bottom of the ditch?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
went- Did
That
you
sounds
ever
so
go off
fun.
of it like a penguin?
I don't. Probably.
So I found out.
I mean,
real
I was
fucking
there
fast.
with you. Like, I can't. I don't
Do
have
you-
any more.
Do you remember the instance where I did, and I just slammed my sternum into the ground, and I just laid there, trying to breathe for a good 15 seconds.
getting the wind knocked out of you? It's terrible.
Not fun.
Terrible feeling.
You guys have been to our house, and that big ditch right in front of the deck out back, we would always play in there as kids. So we, made a little ice ramp for ourselves, and we would go off it with our little sleds in the snow. And I just thought, you know what would be great? Pretend to be a penguin and slide down the fucking hill face first into, what is essentially just a solid chunk of ice. If I fuck this up, I'm just gonna smash my face into it. And then I get airborne because I hit it perfectly rather than slipping off to the side. And I'm like, yes! And then I remember that gravity's about to reassert itself. And let's say the impact removes all the air from your lungs, and it totally paralyzes your diaphragm for a good 20 seconds. And you're just sitting there like a fish, like, I don't remember how to breathe, and it's not working.
Dude.
The sheer panic.
I have a very similar outcome, where there was one Christmas me and David fought over something, and so I don't remember who kicked who first, but we each kicked each other right in the sternum.
Oh God!
And neither of us could breathe.
So
why?
We got the Pokemon games. So
we got mad over a girl.
Them.
Dude, my brother had a quote-unquote trick to help you get past getting the air knocked out of you.
Okay.
And it was when you're laying there on the ground trying to recollect yourself and breathe again for the first time, he would punch you in the chest.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be something useful.
Did it help?
I would start breathing again, but I was also in pain.
All right.
It worked.
So I guess technically it worked.
John. Life is pain.
So, you heard it here. If somebody is having trouble breathing, punch them in the chest.
You know what? Aim a bit higher, punch him right in the fucking throat, too.
Just give him the old devil tap. While you're at it, fucking kick him in the nuts.
Stomp on their cock. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
With with the last couple of minutes here, I just want to share and hopefully have you guys share some of your favorite commercials from childhood. There are a couple of famous ones, a couple of infamous ones, and some that they stick with me. Do you guys remember the head-on commercials?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Apply directly to the forehead.
And the controversy that surrounded them?
No.
I do.
What was this
I know what they're
controversy?
about.
Oh, you guys don't know this?
No.
I didn't know about it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
a child.
so...
I wasn't paying attention to the news.
So the controversy was that everybody knows this commercial, head on, applied directly to the forehead, head on, applied directly to the forehead. And then either the FDA or the FCC comes in and they're like, you didn't explain what your product does. That you can't run this commercial. It doesn't give the consumer any information.
I never even thought about it. I don't.
What does
I
it do?
have no clue what it does.
I do know what it does. I know what they were trying to market it to do. And it's supposed to be to relieve headaches. The problem
Does
is
it
it's
work?
just a stick of beeswax. No, it doesn't work. Which is why they didn't say what it does, because it doesn't do anything. They were just trying to trick people into buying it.
Incredible.
They would have gotten hit with a false advertising suit if they had actually marketed it to do anything. Because it has one ingredient, and it's beeswax and nothing else.
That's fucking great.
You guys remember Floam?
Sort of.
And like blow markers and just like like infomercials in general.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being very young and not understanding what infomercials were.
With 3 payments of $19.99, even you can make art with the blow pen.
Right, exactly.
Remember the Miracle Blade? That fucking knife set?
Ginzu knives.
Yep.
Like, I remember watching cartoons as a kid one day, and an infomercial comes on, but it's like a proper like 30-minute infomercial, like an actual
Yeah.
TV block, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this commercial is really long.
I did the same shit. And then, like, I'd be looking for something to watch, and we didn't have, like, the TV guide that cable has, so I'd just be flipping, and I'm like, all right, let's see what's on for this commercial. And I would sit there for half a goddamn hour, and then another commercial would come on, and I'd be like, oh, I guess there's just nothing on.
Right.
And thinking back on it now, man, I had a lot of time. I thought I had a lot of time now.
But back then,
Just to sit and watch
Okay.
him through an infomercial and be like, well, that was a long commercial.
Mom, we should get this. Shit, I was gonna say, what's the name of the?
The slap
Oh,
chop.
no,
OxyClean.
set it and forget it.
Oh, the
Oh, wow.
Command
just
strips?
set it and forget it. Crockpot.
I don't
it's
remember.
A crockpot. It's an Instant Pot.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Do you guys remember the commercials for like Kids Bop or like now it's what I
Mhm.
call music?
Of course
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Or
just
the
reminds me.
the Best of Shirley Temple DVD box set.
Oh my god!
They
Right.
played
They
that.
were selling that every day. They needed
My
those
dad
money
bought it.
Made in the bed.
He did.
Yeah,
That's great.
Your dad had it.
I think we probably still have it.
Oh my god!
All those goddamn cassette tapes.
I was
Alphabet crackers
in my soup.
Kill me now.
Monkeys and rabbits and
I thought you were about to
Oh,
do it in key.
That's that actually sets me. Do you remember Zoo Pals paper plates?
Yeah.
Oink oink Zoo Pals. Bark
Bro,
bark
what?
Zoo Pals.
No,
Zoo Pals making
it's
fun.
coming into me.
dude, they brought him back.
Did they?
Yep.
Wow.
So
Also,
Gen
every
Alpha can have them.
Chia Pet commercial still looks like it was released in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Chia.
I think
Whenever
they're still in
it-
4x3.
Do you still
They
have the
live in
chia pet I
pairs.
got you, Cody?
Yeah, I do. It's in my bathroom.
John let his die.
I don't even remember owning one.
He skipped watering it one time and it died.
I'm glad you remember this. I apparently have moved past this drama.
The baby
I think
Yoda.
it was Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
It's
it's
still
in your
s-
living room, John.
It's still in your living
that
room
thing.
molding.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about way back in the day.
No, no.
Honestly, there was like a week where we skipped game and I started watering it again. It can all come back to life. I just don't care enough.
you let it stay dead.
Honestly, it
Wow.
so with it being dead, it makes me think of like Dagobah, and I like that way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Mandalorian sucks shit.
Yeah, fuck that.
One commercial that always, for some reason, fits in the same place as Chia Pets is Clap On.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the exact same spot in my head. Clap off, clap on, a clapper.
I remember there was a video that I did not understand. I was too young to understand at the time, but it was like a masturbation joke where it was just like a fapping noise the whole time, and like the lights would just be flipping on and off. And like I was too
Wow.
young to understand it. You just made me realize what it was,
Oh
though.
my god.
Whenever that commercial would play, and I was really young, I'd be like, Mom, we need like 6 of these.
Do you
Think about how efficient it will be to walk around the house.
this commercial still plays because for some reason Campbell's doesn't want to afford a new commercial. Where like this kid is like comes in from playing outside in the snow. And
Yeah.
he's just a snowman.
Yep.
And his mom gives him
Oh, yeah.
Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and it melts.
Jeez, that was
know
old
what?
when we were children.
Yeah.
But it was still a part of it.
You know what commercial always made me kind of feel, wow, all right, I'm about to hit you with a double barrel.
Ooh, hit me.
One commercial that made me feel kind of uncomfortable was, and I don't really know why, it was the Kleenex commercials. I think it was Kleenex. It was some tissue brand. And it was like, the one in particular was like kind of claymation, kind of digital animation.
Mm-hmm.
It was Puffs.
Mhm.
Yep.
It was Puffs.
A
And their
nose in me
noses were so
deserves
raw
Puffs.
and gross looking.
Mhm, yeah.
Yes.
and that always messed with me. But
So
the other
raw
one,
and red.
I was always a little weirded out by how the tissue would always fold around their nose on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know exactly what you mean.
They just put it up. They just put it up to their nose from underneath, and it would just like tentacle roll over their nose. And I'm like,
gave me
tissues
this
don't do
image
that.
of a tissue strangling me.
Right.
Regardless, another one that fucked me up is I wish I could remember the name of the brand. It's the foot fungus guy.
I was just.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's me, Digger.
Digger.
RG. I'm here
RR.
crawling in between
Yeah.
your toenails.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Disgusting.
Yep. That
Yeah.
and Mucinex.
Mucinex, yeah.
The only commercial I can remember is the fucking FREE, that spells free, creditreport.com, baby. Saw your ad, like that whole thing
Keep going.
on my TV. Thought about going, but was too lazy.
Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my pussy's getting laughed at.
Do you guys remember
great.
the commercial? It was
And your what's getting laughed at?
Posse.
Posse.
What'd you hear?
What'd you say, Kyle?
do you guys remember the insurance commercial where there's someone just like hanging out in their backyard on their laptop on their porch furniture for whatever reason, and then a flaming stove just falls out of the sky?
I
do you
think
guys
I
know?
do remember this.
What
Yes.
was that? What insurance was that for?
That has to be for Allstate, right?
You would think, but I thought it was
Because
Geico for some reason.
I thought that was the precursor to the We Know a Thing or Two. No, that's Farmers.
That's Farmers.
yeah.
You're thinking
thought it was
Mayhem.
What's the Allstate guy? The
The Mayhem?
the chaos guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mayhem.
that's Mayhem.
Mayhem.
He's been
that's
around
right.
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's in
I,
John Wick.
So
He is, yeah. And when he was there, I'm like, oh my god, it's him.
it's Mayhem.
There was this one commercial I saw doing research for this episode, and it I don't know if you guys remember Fushigi.
Yep.
Yes.
Nope.
You guys do?
I remember
No
it.
clue.
Fushigi was like this mirrored ball that was encased in plastic, and you could like move your hand around it, and it looked like an optical illusion. And
Oh yes.
It's
So,
contact juggling.
It's contact juggling. It's just that they wanted to. That is an incredibly niche market, and they just like hired the best people in the world to do the fucking commercial.
oh, this commercial stands out in my mind because it's all these people demonstrating the fushigi and all of these like quote unquote testimonials from people using it, and they're just all way too enthusiastic. You know, people are like, I love it! It saved my marriage! And it's like 30 seconds of this, and no joke, then it cuts to the testimonial of the only black guy in the entire commercial. He's got dreads, sunglasses, and a leather jacket on, and he's just like, Fushigi, huh? And then it cuts away.
Oh my! Where is he now? I need to know where this man is.
This is the coolest, slickest motherfucker here, and he's just completely apathetic to the product.
Fushigi, huh?
So I don't know how big this guy was for you guys, but Chef Boyardee was the shit, right? Ravioli was every time that was brought to the table. I'm like, oh hell yeah!
I was a latchkey kid, so like I was home alone constantly, and that's why it was a big part of my life, is because it was easy to heat up in the microwave.
Yeah, right. I love the commercial where they're in the supermarket and the mom's like, "Oh no, we can't get Chef Boyardee," and so the Chef Boyardee can is like,
Follows
"Nope,
you home.
can't have this."
Yep.
Yeah, and just follows the car and everything, goes down the fucking highway and shit.
And then it
So-
gets the child, and the child's like, I want Chef Boyardee. And then the mom's like, Kathy, did you steal this from the grocery store? And then she beats her kid. Because she's an abusive parent. Because she won't let her
Just like
kids
the
eat
main
Chef
character.
Boyardee.
in the Digimon movie we watched just last night.
Okay,
Wow,
I have
brought
a
it all
question.
full circle.
I have a question for you guys that just for whatever reason this reminded me of this. Did you guys ever have Chef Boyardee pizza?
Oh yeah.
Of course, I
the
still
time.
do.
Okay.
I don't know why I said yes, of course, all the time. We lived in the same house.
I didn't know it was a thing.
It is. Did anyone else's Cody, I know you experienced this. Did anyone else's parents only cook the pizza just long enough for the dough to turn slightly into bread and not turn into a crust at all? Because that was the thing.
That's the way I like pizza.
That is the way I like pizza too, and that's probably where it came from.
It's
but
probably because you've been brainwashed based on your childhood.
We never did Chef Boyardee pizza.
It's great. You honestly should just go get a pizza making box from Chef Boyardee right now and just make pizza.
Right.
It's honestly so good.
Yep. Well, you do. There is one thing. You do have to have like a big stone plate to put in your oven.
Right.
Yeah, pizza stone.
Stone plate.
Big pizza stuff.
They have a name.
I didn't know it. Sorry.
Oh my god. You need to get your big stone plate. If you don't have your big stone plate, you're fucked. You are so fucked.
Chris has turned into a seagull.
We were talking about commercials, and it made me think. I'm a person with quite a lot of free time on my hands. Shocker, huh? If you have multiple hours in a day to kill, and you also just want to have noise while you're playing a game, but not the game noise, a good channel for you is a channel called Pigpen.
Okay.
And Pigpen is just a guy who has quite a lot of interests, and he just talks about, he goes through the entries of fucking stupid icebergs and explains every little entry about that thing. Like, here's a fucking 3.5 hour long video of a Spider-Man iceberg, that kind of shit.
Mhm.
But the thing that really endears me to his content is in between the tiers, he'll be like and we'll right back after these messages, and he'll show like old nostalgic commercials for the iceberg he's watching.
Yeah.
So if it's like the Avengers iceberg, then it'll be a like commercials for like Burger King of the Hulk jumping into the ceiling and crushing a guy. And it's just really, it just really hits that bone of, man, I was a kid and I watched this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Regardless. Should we wrap up?
I think we can wrap it there unless anybody has anything else to share.
I have one major memory that is just completely gone now from our gaming history that I didn't get to talk about. Just like, this is just completely gone from video games now.
Kyle, this is your last chance to ever talk about it.
Yep. Cheat codes and the Game Shark.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fucking gone. They
Cheat
don't
codes
make
still in
them
GTA
anymore.
5.
Really?
I mean,
Do you ever use them?
We don't even play single player ever.
Get fucked.
But
I
does anybody-
suppose you could say it's not really equivalent, but Game Sharks kind of got replaced by just mods.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, you just unlocked a thing for me. I think I started hating you, Kyle.
When I started modding everything.
When
Started.
I saw you finally play Final Fantasy X for the first time, and I'm like, hell yes, dude! Final Fantasy X is the shit! And then
I used
you
Game
get
Shark.
into the first battle of the game on the fucking Xanarkand Road, and it's Yuna, and you summon Anima, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And all your stats are maxed out, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What? This is blasphemy! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Final Fantasy X had some great Game Shark cheats.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just that opening scene where instead of that hunter sword, it's just Kaldabog.
I hate you.
You're welcome.
Did any of you guys play with Beyblades?
No.
Very, very briefly in second grade.
Me and David thought Beyblades were the shit, and one of the things we would do is we would turn them upside down and launch them at each other.
That's the way to do it. I've got to pull your guys' mind, maybe. I don't know how connected
Let
you
it
are.
rip! Oh, fuck my eye!
I don't know how connected you guys are to, like, modern toy culture. Fucking Bakugan is popular again.
What?
So are Furbies.
I heard about Furbies.
Fuck.
My
Why
cousin,
are Furbies back?
I guess second cousin, my cousin's son is like 3 years old and is in love with Bakugan.
So are my brother's kids. But going back a little bit to Furbies, me and David hated our Furby, so we took it outside and beat it with a baseball bat.
I don't know anybody who
Yes, that's how
didn't
you
have
played
a
with the
similar
toy, Chris.
experience with the Furby. They were terrifying.
It
Stop
wouldn't
looking at me,
die.
bird.
It wouldn't die. We threw it in the trash and it was still talking.
Black.
Wasn't it terrifying when you took the batteries out and it kept talking?
It's just over here, like,
before we move away from
please
Game
love
Sharks, my absolute favorite Game Shark cheat was in the first Battlefront game. You could just make... I don't think this was... I mean, I say that like they were planning it. It was a cheat just to make it so that you never have to reload.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
But that backfired so hard with the Super Battle Droid because their quote-unquote reload for their rocket missile was just the cooldown it takes to shoot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you could just shoot as fast as you could hit the button
Yeah.
with that cheat on. And that dominated. As soon as I got the Game Shark, that
Trivialized
dominated
everything.
my time. Yeah. It's not even about trivialization. I was an unkillable god. And I was destroying ATXTs, whatever they were called, ATTE, whatever they're called, the clone walkers, just with my L1 button.
Oh, I just remembered the one thing I still wanted to talk about.
Uh-huh.
But
Part
before
3.
that, you also reopened the memory of Mace Windu or Obi-Wan getting jettisoned out of the window on,
Yes, man.
on Cloud City.
Yeah.
Every time I just see my hero, with his lightsaber just start twirling out of there, and I'm like, fuck. Look over, and here
It's
comes
'cause the
fucking
goddamn-
Dooku.
The droids were so stacked.
Oh, man.
Do you remember playing the original Battlefront? And if you named your character Jub Jub, all
They were
of the
upside down.
everything. No, it wouldn't be upside. All of the character models for every entity in the game would be the size of an Ewok.
I
It
don't
just
remember that.
it would just squish them until they were all Ewoks.
Oh, I do remember
wait,
this
no, I
because I
do
remember the
remember this.
stormtroopers and the clones were so tiny. They were so cute.
But they were like wide, right? They
Yeah.
were like fat.
Yeah.
And their guns were still the same size.
I do remember this.
Sticking to video games though. Guys, Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big part of my life. I hated Scott because I could never beat him in the fucking beam struggles.
Yeah. I'm just really good at mashing and spinning.
Who was everybody's character?
Trust me, the ladies know.
Who was everybody's
Um,
character?
Mine was a
Right.
toss up between Frieza and Kid Buu.
That actually.
Ultimate Gohan.
Yep.
My absolute favorite to play was almost certainly a Vegeta.
Yeah.
Because I liked the way Vegeta attacked, and I liked that he was usually somewhat shorter than the guy he was fighting.
I was a fucking pleb, and I always chose Goku up until we were
Yeah.
almost done playing the game. And it was around that time that I unlocked Bardock. And Bardock
Mhm.
was the guy for me.
Cody,
Andy,
Still is.
Do you remember when we would play Tenkaichi and you would just solo stomp me with Kid Goku for hours?
me?
Yeah.
I remember you really liking Kid Goku.
Me?
Oh yeah, that in Tenkaichi it was Kid Goku for sure.
Oh, for
Yep.
Cody?
Yeah.
Yep.
He would
Okay.
after image behind me nonstop, and it got to the point where I could actually block it when he did it. But goddamn, was he so much better at it than I was.
Yeah.
I remember
I was never good at the game. It's just that John sucked dick.
I wasn't bad at the game. I was an idiot. And I would always try to fucking beam struggle against you because I told myself, this next time I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna do it. And then I would lose. And then I'd find a way to get away from you, charge up again, shoot a Kamehameha, and then you'd be like, not this time.
For me, the thing I liked the most about the Tenkaichi games was just I loved the melee combos because they just looked the coolest,
Mhm.
and I wanted to see the coolest thing, so I would force myself to learn, like, okay, so like punch, 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 triangle, punch, 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 triangle, punch, punch, triangle, punch, triangle, and then you had to punch, 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 end up the combo, but then keep punching, and he like kicks them up, and then you chase after them, and then you had to hit
Yep.
circle, and it's really cool.
Mhm.
Dude,
I loved that shit. But the problem was I've never been good at fighting games. So the only time I was in those games, I was able to actually like do the combos and make it actually be good and work is just through repetition, just like with goddamn Guitar Hero.
do you
Where I
remember...
just ingrained it into myself what buttons I need to press and when, but not contextually.
Right.
Do you guys remember the last time we all played it together? Except you, Chris, sorry.
No.
I don't.
It's been
It's
so long.
expected at this point.
It was the last time we stayed the night at Andy's house. And we sat down and had our own little tournament. And that was when Andy ripped out Oob. Who was
Oh,
yes.
fucking
Budokai 3
busted in that game, bro.
key wave or whatever
Because he could Kai Cannon, yeah. Yeah, I still have nightmares about this. He could charge up 7 Kai Cannons, fucking rapid fire them all off, and if any of them hit you, it knocked you as far as it could go, so he could just recharge again, and it was fucking stupid. But we had like one last ditch tournament while all our parents were coming to get us, and I remember like I was able to beat you guys with Bardock, and it came down to me and Andy, and I think everybody had left at that point, and my parents were just waiting on me. And, like, I got him down to his last bar of health, and I did, like, some sort of rush attack that kicked him out of the arena, and it did, like, a whole combo, and it got him down to a fucking sliver. And he had 6 Kai bars. So I'm like, not this time, bud. And I start dashing towards him. He throws out a Kai Cannon, I sidestep. Throws out another one, I sidestep. And then, like, I sidestep all of them until I get to the last one, where I think I'm gonna hit him before it hits me. And it fucking hit me, knocked me out, and that was it. That was the last time I played fucking Dragon Ball Z Budokai. And it has haunted me ever since then, because I'm just like, this is such bullshit. Andy's not fair. He's a fucking douchebag and a pest. And that was the last time we ever stayed the night with each other.
Good day,
I
sir.
love staying the night at his house.
But that was genuinely, like, that was the only fighting game I ever got into. And I loved playing those games with you guys.
We should just get together and do that again.
Scott's the only one I know who has a working PlayStation 2.
Yeah, my PS2 works fine, but, you know.
I mean, we can play some of the more modern ones.
I only have one controller.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is supposed to be coming out soon. Next year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you reminded me, John, about this again, in classic form. We're not going to end the podcast yet. One of the redheads that we didn't mention, Cody, was Jessica from Dragon Quest VIII. Never stood a chance.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Never stood a
I
chance.
was looking for a time to bring up Dragon Quest VIII. What a pivotal game. What a pivotal character.
That game is the reason I think it's the reason I just love JRPGs.
Yeah.
But that being said, I kind of fucking hate JRPGs and that aren't Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, also, it's just Dragon Quest VIII is just so unique.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
It has a very distinctive art style. I will give it that.
The thing
Akira
that drew me in
Toriyama.
was that it looked like Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same guy.
I
Akira
thought
Toriyama.
it was actually based on Dragon Ball when I first saw it.
It's same artist.
Just because, like, Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball, I'm like, oh, are these the same thing? No, they're not.
I can see that.
Scott
Also,
and I
the
could
main
talk
character
about Dragon
gets
Quest
Super
VIII
Saiyan.
for an entire... Yeah, he could go for Super Saiyans. Scott and I could talk about Dragon Quest VIII for an entire podcast. And it's a shame we brought it up at the end.
It made me a man.
We didn't even talk about Destroy All Humans.
Oh, they did
Love that
release a
game.
new one on Steam. There's like a 4-player co-op version.
Of Destroy All Humans?
Yep.
Great. We should really end the podcast. We're
Yeah.
like touching the tip of 2 hours here.
Yeah, we are. Chris, you awake?
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little nostalgic trip of ours. heading it on home into the garage. Please leave a comment talking about some nostalgic stuff that
You know what?
No.
We're
remember.
how about this? Here's an ending.
And we might read a comment or two on
How
the
about
next
this?
episode
Here's an ending.
of the
Imagine-
podcast.
Imagine you're sitting in the back seat of your parents' car, coming back from whatever you were doing this evening. It's dark out, and you fall asleep in the back seat, and you wake up in your bed after your dad or your mom carried you up to your bedroom and tucked you in at night.
Your parents did that?
My mom did. I
Mhm.
didn't have a dad.
Right. We've established that in the previous episode as well.
My parents always woke me up and said,
That's
"Get
great.
out of the car."
Goodbye, everybody.